Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, The Real Life Mama. My name is Mackenzie, and for this video, I'm going to be sharing with you everything that we eat in a week for dinner. Okay, so tonight we are having spaghetti for dinner. So this is the hamburger or the ground beef that my mom cooked up for me while she was here. So we are just going to reheat that. I have some homemade bread with butter, garlic powder, Italian seasoning, and some freshly grated Parmesan cheese on top, so that we're going to be making our own garlic bread. The oven is set for 375, and I'll put this in for about 5 or 6 minutes. I normally would melt the butter, but last time I tried it this way, we're just putting the little cut butter slices on top of it, and it actually worked just fine. So I'm going to start doing it that way from now on. And then in the Instant Pot, our noodles are done. I'm just waiting for them to release a little bit longer. So, and then we have our sauce. So I ended up adding 1 can of marinara sauce, 1 can of the mixed vegetables, and about 2 handfuls of spinach. And that is all blended up into this. So once my hamburger starts thawing a little bit more, there's still some frozen chunks in here, I'm going to add the sauce in and let this cook a little bit while our noodles release. Okay, so here is the sauce combined with the ground beef. I added in garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, and Italian seasoning. So now I'm just going to let this come to temperature. Once it starts boiling, I'll take it off the heat. And the noodles are done. These are the noodles from Aldi. It said to cook it between, I think it was like 8 and 10 minutes. So 8 to 10 minutes means 2 minutes on manual in the Instant Pot. So that's how I knew how long to cook that. So I'm just going to give these a little stir. I added in about 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter. Now at this point, I know there's a way that you can cook spaghetti completely in the Instant Pot. But I have one boy who likes combining the sauce and the noodles, and another one who likes to eat them separately. So I do not cook my entire meal in the Instant Pot. But if your family is not that picky, or you have people, you know, who want to eat it all combined, cooking it in the Instant Pot is a great way to do that, and then you don't have to dirty up another pan. Pretty much you just cook the ground beef in here, then you add the noodles, and then you add an entire jar of your pasta sauce, and I believe it's tomato sauce, along with your seasonings, and then you just let that cook. I'm not sure how long. I can find a recipe though and link it down below if that's something you're interested in. But if you do not have an Instant Pot, I definitely recommend getting one. This is like my favorite way to cook noodles, to cook rice, mashed potatoes. You can do roasts, you can make yogurt. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do with this, and it just makes life so much simpler. And it's very hands-off. So if you have a lot of kids to look after, or you just are a busy person and you can't sit and like wait for the water to boil, wait for the noodles to cook, test the noodles, this is a very efficient way to cook. And then also I have my, oh, the light's not on. I have my garlic bread in the oven cooking too. So I will show you what it looks like once it is all said and done. And so here is what it looks like plated up. Sorry if you can hear Evan in the background. He is ready for his dinner as well. Hey friends, welcome back. It is Tuesday night. So on Monday, we ended up just having some leftovers of the spaghetti. I still have a lot of the spaghetti sauce left. So I think one of the next meals I'm going to make is baked ziti. But tonight we are having some creamy Tuscan pasta. So basically you have your chicken, and the seasonings I use for salt, pepper. I used coconut oil instead of butter or olive oil. Italian seasoning, and that's what the recipe calls for. And then I did add in some more seasoning salt just to kind of give it more flavor. But I'm waiting for these chicken breasts to finish cooking, or almost cooking, like cook through, because I'm going to add these back in at the end. So if they're not completely cooked through, they'll finish cooking at the like once the sauce is already made. And so basically you have your chicken breast. I cut up some onions, and then we have some sun-dried tomatoes here. I need to chop those up, but you add the onions in, let them saute. You add in the sun-dried tomatoes, add in some garlic, and then you add in some spinach. The reason why I'm making this recipe is because this spinach is about to go bad, so I wanted to use it up. So I thought, what better way than, we really like this this pasta, so that's why we're making it tonight, and we have the spinach, so why not? My husband, actually, my handy dandy husband, went out to the grocery store to get me some heavy whipping cream. He got those sun-dried tomatoes, and he also got a bag of onions for me. There's a half-eaten apple. If you have kids, that's a frequent here. With all the freezer cooking that I did, I used all my onions, so he went out to the store to get me some on his way home from work. So I'm probably going to take these off soon and get the onions cooking. And then, like I said, they're still not completely done. You can see it's still kind of raw. Now, like, seeing how thick they are, I wish I would have cut them in half just so they would cook quicker. Okay, so I took the chicken off, I added in the onion, and this is not burned. There's just a lot of the seasoning still on the pan, so that's just adding good flavor. So I chopped up the sun-dried tomatoes. It was probably about a half a cup of what I used, but I'll link the recipe for this down below. And then this is one of my cubes of garlic. If you saw my shorts on YouTube, you saw me mince that up and put olive oil with it, and it was like a 3-pound bag I bought at Sam's that I processed down, which has been very convenient for me with all the cooking that I'm doing, especially with the freezer meals that I did. It was nice not having to peel garlic, chop it, mince it, you know. It definitely is saving me time in the long run. So I'm just going to let this cook for another couple minutes, and then I'm going to add the bag of spinach in here. So the spinach is in there and cooked down. I just added in 1.5 cups of the heavy whipping cream. And this is some freshly grated Parmesan. If you saw my last Sam's Club haul, that is where I bought, it was a block of Parmesan, that's where I got it from. So now we're just going to let this cook until it starts to simmer. We just want the sauce to thicken up. The recipe doesn't say to do this, but normally what I do is I will put, once it's boiling, I'll put the chicken breasts back in, and then I will put this either in the oven or just let it continue to cook with the chicken in there. And so that's kind of how I will make sure that the chicken gets cooked all the way through. Plus it just adds more flavor. I'll put the juices from the plate on the chicken in there too. So, and one thing too, I have been meaning to talk about this, but I really love cooking with a cast iron skillet. This was something I bought for myself probably about a year ago. And between my cast iron skillet and my Dutch oven, that's like my two go-tos when cooking pretty much anything. So if you haven't invested in one of these, I highly recommend it. It can be a little bit of a cleanup and the maintenance of it, but it just, I don't know. I just feel like it's like the superior way to cook food, honestly. So the chicken is back in. I added more seasoning salt, salt and pepper. There is salt and pepper in the seasoning salt, but I prefer my dishes to have more flavor in them than less, which is why I kind of add the seasoning and the salt and pepper as we continue. Oh, and I'll add some more of the Italian seasoning too right now. Oh, that's chili powder. There we go. So I have the noodles cooking in the Instant Pot. We are trying out their gluten-free noodles. We've had them before, but I think I cooked them for too long and they turned out really mushy. So the Instant Pot, when I looked at the chart, it said that they should cook for a minute, but I actually just set the time for 0, so that'll hopefully not make them as mushy. And I'm gonna make sure to release the pressure right away and not let it sit for the 10 minutes like I normally do. So hopefully that will help that out. But I'm basically just gonna let this sit and cook. The one thing I will say, with the cast iron in this dish is that if you put it in the oven, or if you just like let it sit for too long, some of like the sun-dried tomatoes and the onions can kind of like almost like they really stick to the bottom of the pan, and it's a mess to clean up. This was actually one of the meals that I made for my postpartum freezer meals, and it was absolutely delicious. But that was for me, it was worth it when I made 2 meals at one time, just because that way I wasn't having to clean up the pan for the second time that I made it. And I made it in a casserole. Like I made the sauce and everything, but then I froze it in a casserole dish. So then I just had to throw it in the oven. So this is freezer friendly. The oils in it did kind of separate a little bit, but all I did was just added more heavy whipping cream when I went to cook it, and that took care of that. I'm actually gonna give this a test here in a little bit just to see if I have the flavors right. But yeah, so this is pretty much what we are having for dinner. So we'll slice up the chicken, pour some sauce, and then we'll have that over the pasta. You could technically just eat this by itself. That's what the recipe has. But I mean, you could do this over mashed potatoes or rice even. And definitely let me know if you try this, because this is one of our favorite meals. So this is what it looks like when it's all said and done. The noodles did come out a little mushy. So I'm not sure if I cooked them for too long or if that's just how they turn out. So if you've had that brand of noodles before at Aldi, definitely let me know if that's how it turns out for you. But we just have the noodles at the bottom. I sliced up the chicken, and then I put the sauce over top. So we can either add some grated Parmesan to this if we want to, but I already put the cheese grater away, so we are not doing that for tonight's dinner. So today is Thursday. And for dinner tonight, I have some shredded chicken. It's 1/4 cup of ranch, 1/2 cup of buffalo sauce, 1 cup of shredded Gouda, 1 cup of shredded cheddar, a block of cream cheese, and then salt, pepper, and garlic. And basically this is a buffalo chicken dip, but we are going to eat it with chips. And I also have some Hawaiian sliders that we're going to eat this with. So basically you put all the ingredients together. I have this lid that we're going to put on it, and then my oven is preheated for 350 degrees, and we're just going to let this cook probably for like 45 minutes until it's all nice and bubbly. My cheddar cheese is frozen, but I'm sure that won't be a problem. I'm sure it'll melt down, and I'll just mix this once it's done. So I will let you know what it looks like once it's done cooking. So here is the finished product. The cream cheese that I put in had like separated in 4 different chunks, which I had to look back and make sure that I didn't do that myself, and I did not. But basically all I did was stir it once it came out of the oven. It did take 45 minutes. The original recipe that I saw for this, the guy did it on a smoker, which obviously I don't have one, so that's why I did it in the oven for 350. He said that he did it on a smoker for 250 for like an hour, but this was 350 for 45 minutes, and it probably didn't need to go for that long. Now that it's cooled for a little bit, it's not bubbling, but this entire thing was bubbling when I pulled it out. So that is what we are having for dinner tonight. I'm sure we will have leftovers of this. My kids probably will not eat this, but I'll just give them one of the Hawaiian rolls, probably some fruit, and either like pepperoni or summer sausage or something, because this will definitely be too spicy for them. But if you like buffalo dip, buffalo chicken, I definitely recommend you give this a shot. I made this for when we had people over for the Super Bowl, and everyone loved it, at least people who liked buffalo. I normally am not a big buffalo person, but this stuff is delicious, which is why I'm making it again. We need to get that jar of buffalo sauce used up. So I will see you next time when I'm back in the kitchen. Hey friends, welcome back. It is Friday night. My 3-year-old was supposed to have soccer practice tonight, but it got canceled because we have been having a lot of rain. It's been windy, cloudy, so they just decided not to deal with it, which is totally fine. That now allows me more time to make dinner before when I thought we were gonna have soccer, I was just gonna do a chicken stir fry and have like rice already cooked in the Instant Pot, all the vegetables chopped up, so I just had to cook it when we got home. But now that I have a little bit more time, I'm going to be making a baked ziti, and I'm probably gonna do homemade garlic bread as well. But, and the boys are over here playing in the sink. But basically I just cooked up some penne noodles in the Instant Pot. I already have some leftover sauce from when we made spaghetti earlier in the week, so I'm just using that up. And then I have some mozzarella cheese I'm going to top it with. I'm gonna bake it in the oven for 350 degrees until it's done. So I will take you back once we have everything cooked and ready to go. Okay, so this is what it looks like before it goes in the oven. There is a lot of sauce in here, more than I would normally put, but I just wanted to get the 2 containers that the sauce was taking up clean because we are going grocery shopping tomorrow, and I want to make sure that I have those containers for fruits and vegetables, that kind of stuff. If I want to do any pre-chopping. I'm also going to make a hummus next week, so I needed to make sure I had a container for that. So it's just the penne noodles, the leftover pasta sauce that has ground beef in it, and then I have some shredded mozzarella on top. And we are going to have, I'm going to chop this up more, saute it with some butter and some garlic, and we will just have broccoli as a side. And then we're going to finish up the rest of this homemade bread, and I'll just make a really easy garlic bread with this. So that is what we are having for dinner tonight. Hey everyone, it is Friday night, so we are having some butter chicken with naan and rice. I am currently in the process of cooking everything. It's just been a little chaotic, but I'll show you what everything looks like. So here is the naan. I used a recipe that I've used probably like 4 times previous to this, and everything's turned out great, but for some reason this is just really sticky. I'm wondering if I didn't add in enough yogurt with everything. Here is what the curry looks like. This is pretty much done. I'm just kind of letting it thicken a little bit. I added it's shredded chicken, an orange bell pepper, and some onion, salt and pepper. And this is the curry that we're using. If you've seen my Aldi hauls, you saw us get this. And then I have rice going in the Instant Pot. I've also got some sandwich bread going. I am experimenting with a whole wheat sandwich bread recipe. We normally just use all-purpose flour. And so over here, I did make some chocolate chip banana bread earlier in the day. This is the naan, and this is kind of what we're working through. So as you can see, it normally would be a lot thinner than this, but the roller just kind of was getting stuck with dough, so I've been pressing it out with my hands. So I'm hoping that everything is cooked through. The boys are being wild on the couch, as you can see, so just ignore them. But yeah, so this is what we are having for Friday night. So this is some hummus that I made earlier today. I want to go ahead and give it a taste test. It's really good. And this naan is cooked perfectly. So that settles that. I'll post the recipe later today. And so this is what it looks like when it's done. We have the rice on the bottom, the curry, or the butter chicken, and then some naan. I'm talking to my friends, Liam. And that naan is really good as well. It was just a little sticky. I think I didn't add enough Greek yogurt, but it turned out great. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is, oh, what day is it? Sunday night. So my in-laws were just here. They just left. I didn't have to make lunch. We ended up going out, and my husband made breakfast. So I'm just going to stay on the no cooking train today, and we are going to have some leftovers for dinner. So here we have some of the leftover, the buffalo chicken dip, the leftover baked ziti, and then this is what was left of that curry from last night. And we still have a little bit of naan left, so we are just gonna warm all of this up, and then the kids will probably eat the baked ziti. My husband will probably have the buffalo chicken dip, and I'll probably do the leftover curry. So we're just gonna clean out the fridge, get these casserole dishes clean, and then we will start fresh for next week. I want to say thank you if you made it to this point in the video. Your support means so much to me. I hope this video gave you some meal inspiration of what you can make for your family for dinner. I know it's always hard. Sometimes you get in a rut with dinner and you just don't know what to make. So I wanted to make these videos to help give you some inspiration. if you are kind of in the same boat. Here we've got little Evan here. He's working on his head support. Can't really see him, but he went for his 2-month checkup and he's almost up to 12 pounds, which is awesome. I think I shared a little bit in my last video, but he was born 39 weeks and was born 5 pounds, 6 ounces. So it's very nice to see him growing. He's in a little bit of a growth spurt right now, which he's been very wanting mom, very clingy, which is fine. I'll take the baby snuggles, but he woke up a lot last night. So we are just kind of keeping it calm day, trying not to do too much, especially going into this week. Sorry, I'm swaying with the baby. But yeah, just trying to conserve some energy. I did a lot yesterday and definitely within not getting a lot of sleep last night, wanting a little chill day, which I feel like what Sundays are for. So I want to say thank you again, and we will see you next time. Bye.